Can you imagine what a dog would look like as a Pomeranian Border Collie mix? Well, I'd like to introduce you to my little friend, Chrissy. When I first saw Chrissy, she looked up with me with her big brown eye and her big blue eye. She looked so sad. She was shaking, scared, and alone. You may wonder where I got this little girl. She was not from a breeder or a private owner. Chrissy was a tiny dog in a big kennel. She begged me to take her home with her eyes. Chrissy was a pound dog. She had already been adopted, but was returned, and she was running out of time. According to dogbreederinfo.com, for every one human born, 45 dogs and cats are born. So who takes care of all of them? The same site says that 1 out of 10 dogs finds a home. Today, I would like to persuade you to consider adopting a pet from an animal shelter rather than buying one from a breeder. Since many of you have undoubtedly had a pet in the past, have one now, or want one in the future, this information pertains to you. When a family decides they want a dog, they often read about different breeds. It can quickly become confusing because all the breeders are trying to get you to choose their dog. Their goal is for you to choose their breed. It may seem easiest to buy a dog from a reputable breeder. When you buy a puppy from a breeder, it will most likely have the look that you want. However, all of these puppies will not have the same temperament. An example would be of a purebred golden retriever we had named Angel. She was a fun dog, but she had this habit of running off. We'd have to track her down every time. It was a habit we just couldn't get her to break. We had another golden retriever, Clancy, who would never have considered leaving our property. Breeders are often in the business to make the money only. When buying from a breeder, you may be unknowingly buying from a puppy mill. According to NoPetStorePuppies.com, females that can no longer breed are abandoned, shot, or starved. Buying a puppy from them is supporting this awful crime. While some breeders have passion for a breed, it is still hard to choose these puppies because there are other dogs that need homes. If more people adopted the dogs, breeders would naturally produce fewer puppies. I want you to think of your dog at home. How would you feel if he or she was taken from a warm, safe home and put into a kennel with a dog they didn't know? The air is filled with anxious, barking, and smells of many dogs and contaminant. I know you would want your pet to find a home as soon as possible. Sometimes people do not have a choice and have to leave their pet behind. There was a man that served in the Marines, and he had to make that decision. He had no family. He had to leave his best friend, Reggie, at a no-kill shelter. He was shipping off to Afghanistan. Sadly, he did not come back. A young man who moved into a town was lonely and decided that he wanted a pet. So he went to the local humane society and picked up a big black lab named Reggie. At first, the first couple weeks, he and Reggie didn't get along. The dog seemed depressed and didn't want to be with him. The man was literally about to pick up the phone to call a shelter to take him back when he saw the letter that was in a box, the box that had come with Reggie. He started to read the letter and realized whose dog it had been. It had been the Marine's dog. He couldn't stomach writing the dog's real name. His name was not Reggie, but Tank. He wrote in the letter that Tank loves tennis balls. He always carries 2 in his mouth and always tries to get a third, but never has succeeded. When the man read this, he called the dog by his name, Tank. He immediately perked up. The man started throwing tennis balls one after the other, and the dog was much happier. This is the type of dog that you can save. He's a lifetime friend. I have purchased a dog from a breeder. I've also adopted a dog from a pound. My dog Chrissy was from the pound, and when she first came home, she was frantic whenever I left the house. She settled in within about a week, but she still waits by the window for me to come home to this day. She puts her chin on the windowsill and waits. She's a constant companion to me. She rides with me in the car. She sleeps in my bed. Now my brother's dog, Baxter. Baxter, come here. Come here, Baxter. Baxter. Baxter, come here. Come here. Good boy. Come here. Sit. Sit. Okay, stand. My brother's dog, a German Shepherd, had a previous owner who had been bought, and he had been bought from a breeder. Not very obedient. Anyways, he came to my brother and did not seem nearly as nervous as Chrissy had. Baxter! He adapted to riding the back of the truck very quickly. He was much more trusting at going than my Chrissy. I've also purchased a dog from a breeder for my dad. He was a golden retriever puppy, and it was very important to my dad that he was a purebred. So when you decide to get a dog, please remember that for every one person born, there are 45 dogs and cats born. And only one dog out of 10 will get a permanent home. Remember the dog called Tank, and please give the shelter dogs a chance to find a loving and safe home. Yay!